Yeah, I can stop something like a Ying. Yeah, but so can Wamai. Like Jaeger, I would say that Wamai is better than Jaeger in almost every single scenario because you have a shield as well, which is huge. Jaeger's overrated. It's just a comfort pick because people like him. Jaeger's gun feels so overpowered, but it's not. Wamai's gun is actually better, statistically speaking. Jaeger's gun isn't as good as people think it is. It got nerfed twice. It's just a comfort pick. Jaeger has like a 95% pick rate in Pro League. Yeah, because you can always pick him. Good gun, good gadget. But do you need him? No, you don't. You don't need Jaeger. Jaeger makes life better. Definitely. And I mean, in the current meta, especially as a utility tier meta. But you don't need to pick Jaeger. Like, some strats don't have Jaeger in them. But the thing is, you can always pick him. Because he's good. Good weapon, good gadget, or whatever. But you might as well pick Wamai, you get a shield as well. Both 2 speed, both same gadget-ish. It's the same with Smoke. You don't need to play Smoke every round in Pro League, but everyone is. It's just, you might as well, you know? Shield, shotgun, smoke grenade. You get so much value. Smoke with C4, Smoke with shield? I mean, they're both broken. Smoke shouldn't have a shield or C4, in my opinion. Oh, Baka, you're not a C4 player, but you hit the door, Baka.
What?
You hit the door. Close left. You got this. You swing. I was injured.
Yeah, interesting, but I didn't know if there was a guy here.
I got yellow to scam. Like, Smoke shouldn't have a shield, and Wamai shouldn't have a shield. It makes no sense. They have too much value. It's like Kite or Bandit having impacts. They shouldn't, and they don't. Well, not anymore. Kite used to, because you have double deny. You should give shields to operators that aren't picked for that reason. In my opinion. Because otherwise, like in the current meta, you can play... I mean, Echo just lost his shield, but before the nerf, you would play Echo, Wamai, and Smoke every single round they weren't banned. And you have 3 shields by default. Every single defense. Then you play Goyo, then you have 5 shields. Then you play Jaeger. Then you have double ADSs. You have 5 shields. 5 shields! And still 2 barbed wire or bulletproof. That's crazy. And you have 2 Echo drones. That's way too much value. That's why Echo lost his shield. But it's like, why does Wamai have a shield and he has a possibility to deny the shield from dying, aka ADSs, right? Like, that's too strong, I think. I think a lot of characters are too strong on defense, and that's why the game is so goddamn defender-sided. You pick Smoke, you get shotgun, secondary SMG weapon, a shield. Like, back in the day, you also had C4, but obviously shield is even better these days. When you pick Mute, you don't even get half the value of Smoke, except for the fact that obviously you get wall deny if Thatcher's banned, or drone deny. But the value of picking Smoke is absurdly higher than Mute because of that shield. Same with Valkyrie. Valkyrie has a shield and C4. Like, she gets absurd amount of value. Although, to be fair, she should have a C4. She can make plays with the Valcams. But why does she have a shield? I don't know. I feel like the shield should be placed on, like Alibi has a shield, for example. I think that's great. Someone like Oryx having a shield would be great, maybe. Because then you don't pick, like, Valkyrie for a shield. You pick Oryx for it. You pick off meta operators. Now that Mossy lost C4, Mossy could arguably have a shield. You know what I mean? He also lost his shotgun. He doesn't... Mossy has no value these days. You don't see Mossy almost ever these days anymore. But Echo had a shield. Smoke has a shield. Wamai has a shield. Ella has a shield. Like, operators that are already really good. Although Ella is, you know, Ella gun. Mute had a shield? No, Mute has bulletproof in C4. Not concerned about Valk having a shield because you're never not taking C4? That's where you're wrong. That's literally where you're wrong. People pick Valkyrie's shield quite often these days because shields are that strong. We, ourselves, T2, play Valkyrie's shield in Pro League sometimes. Because you want to have more shields. Because the shield will give you way more value than a C4. In 90% of cases, because shields are that broken. Echo shield is gone though? Yeah, now it is. My point was, Echo had a shield for years. And he shouldn't have. That's my point. It's like Smoke having C4 back in year 1. He had it for way too long. Like the philosophy is the same, right? Echo should have never had a shield. The second shields got changed to having slits in them, Echo should have lost his shield. The second that changed. The second. Why are shields so valuable? Because they're mirror windows. A shield is basically a walking or movable mirror window. That's why they're broken. Because they got these fuckboy slits these days. If you guys didn't play this game a year ago, these slits didn't exist. The shield was just a blank piece of fucking metal. Now, the reason why they're strong is because back in the day you would pick a shield for cover. But you had no info. You would need a Valcam or a bulletproof to see what's behind the shield, or in front of it rather. Nowadays, the shield gives you cover and information. And you can peek with it. And with peek as advantage as well, you can't beat a guy behind a shield. You will lose that 9.9 out of 10 times unless he's a complete bot. So you need to nade it. You need to soft breach it. Because you cannot win a gunfight on a guy on a shield. And then there's ADS protecting it. What am I protecting? You gotta get teammates to ADS it for you. Like, it's such a nightmare. So the issue with the shield is that the second they gave it slits, they shouldn't be given... They should, basically, in my opinion, these shields should have been what Goryu's gadget was. That should have been Goryu's gadget. In my opinion. And then you can give him 2 or even maybe 3 of them, right? But now they're this plus explosive canisters, which is super broken. Or you give the shields to very, very useless, quote-unquote useless operators like the Oryx, like the Alibi, like the Capcan. So that if you want to play with these extremely absurd, broken, overpowered shields, you need to sacrifice something else. Because right now, as I said, you played Smoke, Echo, Wamai before the Echo nerf. You had 3 shields by default, playing the most meta operators in the game. That's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. Having impacts on Kai when its gadget is a denier was absurd when it happened. Why would you ever pick Alibi, Oryx, or Capcan when you can pick Echo Shield, Smoke Shield, Wamai Shield, Ella Shield, right? You would never. Why is Wamai better than Jaeger? Because shield. Well, Jaeger doesn't give you a shield. The shield has an absurd value. I think an interesting castle buff would be that when explosive is used on it, it doesn't completely destroy it. I don't know. People are really fixated on wanting to buff Castle. Guys, Castle is literally by definition one of the most perfect, well-rounded, well-balanced operators the game has ever seen. And the funnest thing about this is that he's never been changed. I mean, sure, he got impacts when they came out, then he lost them, and then he got a shotgun. But his gadget as a whole, the core mechanics have never changed. It's always been 12 punches, he's always had 3 of them, etc. The only difference was back with the glitch, where glass could shoot them and leave a bullet hole. But they patched that again after a year or so. Castle is extremely balanced. If anything, you gotta change the weapon. But the issue is if you buff this weapon, you buff the bald guy. And the bald guy shouldn't get buffed because the bald guy is really strong, right? That's the issue. It's the same gun. So, it's kind of tough because of that. Castle is extremely balanced. I saw some people were like, yo, let's make Castle so that it blocks the entire door so you can't drone below them. And I'm like, guys, imagine you're playing the fucking game in ranked and you need to drone a door and there's a castle barricade. So you go up, you kill the castle barricade, then you drone, there's another castle barricade. You can't drone anything anymore. Like, we don't want the game to be oppressive like that. We really don't. Right? Castle is extremely well balanced. He's extremely high skill. And he can fuck your team over if you misuse it. And I think that's good. Castle is really good. Like, Castle's great. Foster's like balanced. Like, she's kind of weak, but she's balanced. Smoke is a little bit too strong. Mute is probably a little bit too strong, arguably. Although Mute, again, I don't really think you can nerf him either because then he's useless, right? So Mute probably is fine. Clash is annoying as fuck. I would make it so that it slows less and maybe it shouldn't even do damage. I think getting sapped to death by a Clash is bullshit. I don't think she should be able to kill, but be like Monty where she gets information and she slows. But the slow shouldn't be as slow as it is. It should be less slow. Because you literally can't play the game when you're clashed right now. I think that's the kind of change that we need. Just like the small quality of life changes so that you can still play the game sometimes. Same with Melusi. Melusi should slow less in a smaller radius, but ideally she should be like Maestro and need to use the gadget or toggle it like Kavera or Vigil so that the Melusi gadgets can be toggled on by a click of a button with decision making based off information, instead of just always being on when you walk into them perfectly every time. Because when Melusi's gonna be in Pro League, she's gonna destroy so many clutch and sneak scenarios because you can't do anything about them. You can't melee them, you can't shoot them, you can't sneak around them. It's not like Elysian Man or Barbed Wire. It is completely absurd. Does Frost need a buff? No, I don't think she needs a buff. I think it's good that Frost is extremely unique. If, let's say, Skyscraper or Chalet was in Pro League, she would get played more than she is currently because she's good on window maps. The only issue is that Frost as an operator doesn't really bring you much. The traps are, again, unreliable. Only bad players get trapped. I don't mean bad as in silver players, I mean bad as in people who make mistakes. Ideally, you should never get hit by a Frost trap because you should have information if it's there. Same with Capcan traps, same with Legion traps. Ella mines, different story, they're bullshit. So, when you're playing Pro League, you're basically relying on your enemy making a mistake for her gadget to work. And that's why traps aren't commonly played in Pro League, except for information traps like Legion mines and other traps. Because ideally, the enemy team wouldn't hit a single trap. Because they'll drone it, right? Thank you, Focus. Process a shield? Yeah, and that's the only reason why she's pickable. That's because she has a shield. And it's good that she has a shield. It's really, really good. But the matter of fact is, you would just pick a different operator like Ella with a shield because she has a better gadget. Even though she has an arguably worse gun, right? So. If you remove damage and lessen the slowness, shouldn't you make the shield unpunchable? No, Edberg. No, you shouldn't. If you make Clash's shield unpunchable, do you know what's going to happen? She's going to block the first door so that the attackers can't get in the building. And what are you going to do? You can't play the game. As a defender, Clash, you need to be able to melee her and shoot her. As a Monty, you need to take the ground. So therefore it makes sense you can't punch her. That's just logic, right? It's the same reason as to why attackers can't barricade doors, but defenders can.
I've been wondering, is it? I'm surprised no siege.
Like if Clash couldn't get melee, you couldn't play the game, and she would get picked every single round. Like imagine they want to take Garage, right?
Okay, I'm not gonna say anything.
Imagine they want to take Garage. You block this door right here. That's Clash. Then you have fucking shield here holding that door. One guy holding shield Westman. Like you can't play the game. So Clash obviously has to be punchable so that she can't block doors.
10 seconds remaining.
Otherwise, you can't play the game. So.
Planted in the corner. Oh my.
Wouldn't it be cool if Clash had an infinite or a finite amount of taser that slow you down? No, I don't think so. Like imagine Monty could only extend 5 times. That's a terrible mechanic, right? Especially with how buggy the game is. It's also impossible to calculate how much Clash has used, just like Twitch drones, unless you literally track it and follow it, right? I think Clash is fine. She just needs to be less oppressive. Like, Clash should be like Monty. But Clash right now is a mixture of Blitz and Monty, and that's why she's overpowered. She does damage, she slows you down significantly, and she can't die. Either you make her vulnerable but damage dealer, like Blitz, or you make her the opposite, a defensive information gatherer and retaker like Monty. But they've made her both. Take away the damage, reduce the slow amount, right? And then therefore she's purely for information and team play purposes and not as a killing machine. A little bit exaggerated because she doesn't kill anyone, but you know what I mean. She shouldn't do that. Imagine Banshees of Barbed Wire did damage. They don't. So why does Clash?